All right, guys. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's the morning time. Not that early. I wanted to do this about an hour ago. We had a rough night. Okay, we had a rough night. Okay, but we're here. We're here, and I'm going to answer all your questions. We're going to discuss the playbook. We're going to discuss, that. I had big on Gabe Davis last night, all over an anytime touchdown. Let's go. Gabe Davis was in all of my showdown lineups, every one of them. So that worked out pretty good. He's captain in 3 of them. He was in my main lineup, but or he wasn't in my main lineup though, but he was in a ton of other good lineups that I had. So that worked out well, I guess. So, that's okay. I was all over him. I don't know how my best ball teams are looking because I had like Deontay Johnson, I had Diggs on one of my lineups. So like he's had a crap couple weeks. So if that lineup can sneak by somehow, then Diggs could be better off down the road. So. But we're going to look at the playbook. We're going to look at some projections. We're just going to kind of rise and grind. It's probably going to be quick because I got to start building lineups. I haven't even registered for some of the lineups. I just did that before I started just because there's a couple that are close to filling, and then there's like every other one is not even close to filling. So a lot of available contests out there today. And yeah. So as you guys know, I got the playbook. I wrote a medium-sized article this week. I have my plays all highlighted. I don't have that many cash options. It's very straightforward this week. We'll talk about that. There's not really any additional defenses we like besides these 2 for cash that have some upside. And then there's not tight ends because we've already have 2 of them in some of these builds, McBride and Hawkinson. So when we talk cash, we got a few different cheaper receivers you can go with, but Justin Jefferson, Hopkins, Ridley, these guys grade out well. And then on DK, we got a cheaper option in Devontae Donovan Wicks. But Jaden Reed's still questionable, so I should probably pull some news up on my other screen to see if that comes in while we're waiting. Cole Kmet. Alexander Madison's expected to play, so that hurts Ty Chandler a little bit. So that news might be important. So yeah, this is just kind of what I do. I don't like to show it too much. I just did a preview right there for everybody that's jumping in. So if you're premium, you get that content. If not, we can just talk about some of the plays that were on there. Now I have Nick Mullins listed as the one on that list, but on here, SaberSim has him higher than our aggregate projection that I filter by Goldie, but other projection models I know have him very high. So I'm surprised this aggregate isn't up higher. I see some in the 20s even. Some of the other projection models have him in the 20s. I'm guessing some have him in the 16 range. Is kind of why he's averaging out around this 18.5. So, yeah. And SaberSim's kind of right in the middle on that, 16 to 21, 22. So, yeah. So that's kind of what we're going with. We really got to watch the ownership here. Some of these guys are really high owned in Mullins and Fields this week. And then Baker Mayfield's getting some love. I don't think we need to go there. His price is up a little bit. I think I like Goff here at this price and this ownership, playing in a dome. We know that's a good for them. I know Mullins is on the other side, but there's nothing wrong with Goff on this side of things. There's just a little price difference. Tua's in a tough matchup. He's going to be lower owned. Dak's in not a tough matchup, but it's down in Miami. So it'll be good ownership on Dak. I don't mind that play. Geno, Tennessee, they're passing funnel. We got Jordan Love. His price is up at 6,500. Joe Flacco, 5,500 is a good price. So some of these other guys we're going to see at lower prices. Taylor Heineke, I got listed starting at 4,800 in a dome. They're in a dome game, which is another dome game we really like to target. Both Gardner Minshew and Taylor Heineke. We're waiting on some news. I believe Foreman's out, though. I'm pretty sure. Foreman got ruled out, or not Foreman, Pittman in that game. Yeah, Michael Pittman is out, so we need to look and see how good Downs is, if he's going to be a huge play. So, thanks, Joanne. Welcome in. Hit the like button. Appreciate the rise and grind here. We're going over quarterbacks. If you missed it, start from the beginning. Unless you just want, I'll give you an overview. We got some decent ones up here that we really like, but I think we can get some of these cheaper ones. We should be under 5,500 on some of these guys. We got Taylor Heineke. We got Trevor Siemian with the Jets. I mean, he's looked okay. He's got some weapons. Washington's defense is depleted a little bit. This could be a better game than people think. We could be scoring some points on the Jets side of things this week. So I don't mind doing that at 4,700 with Garrett Wilson had a big game last week. You can kind of pair him. I like the pairing of Simeon, Hall, and Garrett Wilson. I like that three. We'll get to running backs here next, but I like some of these cheaper quarterbacks. Even Flacco under the 5,500. Minshew's close 5,900. I really like that dome game as well. Stack it up, and then Goff's the other guy I really like this week. Running backs, kind of a problem. We've had some different injuries coming in on guys. Madison's back to play. That'll hurt Ty Chandler a little bit, probably. He had a big week last week. Walker looks like he's good to go. We have the split backfield with Gibbs and Montgomery. We got the split backfield with Mostert and Achan's back, now running it. So they're getting dual work. So they're averaging about the same. And Mostert's been getting a lot of the red zone work for what it's worth. But Achan's the guy that breaks off the big play, third down back, pass back a lot there at 7,100. So is it worth targeting one of those split backfields? I don't know. We have some elite backfields. I think A.J. Dillon's out. We're at Carolina here. We got Aaron Jones in that spot this week. Yeah, I like Mayfield. He's $6,000. I think he's a little higher price. I wouldn't mind him more around the 5,500 range or less. He's getting kind of chalky though. So every time I get those guys chalky, I don't really like it. I'm actually hoping he sucks for best ball purposes this week, but I've actually had a lot of respect for Jacksonville defense. They've had a couple bad weeks, but they played. They've been banged up on offense. They're 3-and-out a lot. Their defense has been on the field a lot more. So I think Jacksonville defense is a better defense than people think. They were holding some good teams early on in the season. I think they can play really well. But Baker did have a really good last week. But let's not recency bias and stuff like that. We don't want to play like that. So if he's getting ownership up there a little bit, I think we need to fade, kind of more fade. Same with Rachaad White. He's getting a ton of ownership. 7,400, his price is up. I mean, he's looked good. That team's been moving the ball. They've looked good. They've really gotten sync, but I think I wouldn't chase it too much. Jonathan Taylor in a great spot, 7,200 against the Land in the Dome game. No Zach Moss this week, so that will help. And Dante Foreman isn't not expected to play. That's kind of probably where I read that, and I was saying Foreman instead. I was looking for Michael Pittman. So Pittman's out, Foreman's out. Tyreek's expected to play. Walker's expected to play. Trevor Lawrence is expected to play. Madison's expected to play. Cole Kmet's expected to play. So that'll be good. Couple guys out. Zay Flowers questionable still. Will Levis unlikely to start for the Titans. Yeah, Michael Mayer's out. I mean, that's other news we don't need right now. All right, so let's get back to running back. Breece Hall at 6,100. I really like this week. He's getting chalky. I like that. ETN's a guy that I don't mind getting behind. Tampa Bay's decent defense, but he catches passes. Bijan's cheap in that dome game. He's going to get a lot of ownership though. Jones is the guy I like, kind of lower ownership. I think he's going to be sneaky. Derrick Henry getting a lot of split back, but he's going to be low owned if you want to take some shots on MME. Chuba's another cheap guy that we're popping a little bit. Singletary is another guy that's popping a little bit. Montgomery at 6,900 is going to be really low owned in that game. I kind of like one of the running backs as well. James Conner, 5,900 against Chicago. Chicago's defense has been a lot better. So I'm a little worried about that game. It's outside. It's cold for Cardinals. So let's see how that goes. Gibson's should have the only back in the backfield. There is another guy sneaking up here. His name's Chris Rodriguez, 4,500. He's getting no ownership, but he's got at least a little bit projection, so he's going to play a little bit most likely. Gibson's going to be the featured back, but it is a tough defense, don't forget, so let's not chase too much of this. He's still getting lower ownership, but it's a pretty good price tag for that guy. Roshan Johnson, 4,800. I don't know all the running backs in the backfield for with Foreman out here. Where is this game? Herbert's there too, but he's been getting less work. Rashawn Johnson's the rookie that we like. We talked about a lot in best ball this week or this summer. So it's good to see him stepping up. Might be a little too late for those best ball lineups. So, yeah. So running back's been fairly laid out. I like a lot of these top guys. Tony Pollard's probably viable, 11% ownership. Breece Hall is one of my favorites. Taylor's one of my favorites. Aaron Jones, one of my favorites. Wrap that up. Receiver here, I kind of talked in the playbook. If you want, you can see some of these guys are my favorites. I didn't list Taylor's favorite, but he's up there. I kind of like the Colts as a stack or some options in that game. So Justin Jefferson and the main four guys I've kind of listed. And then I have some cheaper guys that I like in dome games and decent matchups. And then they're cheap. And then Garrett Wilson in the matchup we like. So yeah, I wrote up an article on that, guys. Check that out if you're not premium. You want to get premium so you can get that article. I do some videos usually. I was doing videos every week, but I've got holidays right now, everything. So we're doing the rise and grind. So if you're joining in now, we're at receiver. CeeDee Lamb, Hill, Jefferson, and Amon. I don't have to tell you guys about these four. I really like Amon just because why the hell aren't we playing him? He doesn't drop any passes. He's literally a machine, catches the ball constantly. Goff, if he can find him, he's going to be perfect passer for that system. As long as he's not getting any pressure, he's a good quarterback and can find Amon St. Brown. Yes, they've been throwing it to Laporta. They've been throwing it to some other weapons. Gibbs has looked really well coming out of the backfield as well. But he's getting a lot of usage, so we can't at 11%, I'm going to take my shots there at a decent price versus these other guys. Obviously Justin Jefferson's really priced, but you can probably fit Mullins, Jefferson, and Amon as a run back in a stack that we like today. So look to see me probably have something sorted like that. And then that's a small stack, and then you can fill it in with some of these cheap guys. Garrett Wilson at 5,800. We have Tyreek probably coming back. He's very pricey. Dallas defense has been decent. Slipping a little bit the last few weeks, though they've been. So they're kind of a downward trend. But you also have Waddle that's looked decent last week without Hill. Maybe he's finally catching some rhythm this season. Hopkins at 6,100. He's looking like a good cash play. I give out cash lineups too, guys. So if you're in the premium Discord too, I usually drop that in if you want it right before lock. It changes between 12 and 1. Today it'll change. So that'll be the thing. So then we have Metcalf. We have that game, Tyler Lockett at 5,600. It's kind of cheap. They like to pass it more. Pass funnel defense in Tennessee. So those guys are going to look decent options, I think. Lower ownership here. Lockett's going to be a little bit more ownership because he's so cheap. Drake London's very cheap in that dome game we like as well this week. Getting a little bit of ownership. Josh Downs, I expect him to come up a little bit with Indy's receiving core with Pittman out. It does suck for Pittman being out. He wasn't one of my good best ball lineups. I'm really, really taking a lot of heat with injuries in all fields this year. Gabe Davis really helped my dynasty league out last night. I picked him up at the trade deadline, give me a little bit extra depth at receiver. Thank God, because Christian Kirk and Tank Dell are out. Jaden Reed's dealing with an injury, potentially not playing today. I really needed the extra receiver depth, and Gabe Davis came through in the dynasty league. I have one of the most stacked dynasty leagues, but Herbert's out, Tank Dell's out. I lost Keenan Allen this week. I lost Mike Williams in the early season. I've really taken a hit. So if I can advance to the championship game with all the injuries I have a very solid roster. So Josh Downs is going to be a guy. Pierce is probably going to guy. This is probably all going to change a little bit. He's not going to be 5% owned. I'm guessing he's going to be like 20. So just letting you guys know when the projections all start to update on that. Anybody else we missed? Jordan Addison, 6K in that game. He's another pivot you could do off of Jefferson, which worked out the week he got hurt, but we like that game. So just target some options in that game. I'm really hoping Jaden Reed plays. If he does, 5,400 is still a fantastic price tag for this guy. He's getting some rushing work. He's getting a lot of reps, and there's no Watson. Yes, Wicks has looked good as a rookie as well. Dobbs has looked good as a second-year guy, but that offense is very young and talented, I think. So I'm kind of off the Washington receivers this week, and they're not going to get any love from me. Pierce might be a guy. Jameson Williams is cheap flyer, can hit it big every once in a while if you want to take shots on that play. Besides that, I'm really sticking. I'm going to spend down on my stacks so then I can, or quarterbacks, so then we can play some of these main guys. And tight ends, always a crapshoot, guys. Welcome in if you did come on and just come in, hit that like button. I'm gonna refresh how many likes we got. And we're up to 6 likes. Let's go. A little morning rising grind. I'd hope we can get to 10. So if you're just joining in, there's 11 of you in here. So if all of you hit the like button, we would be at 10, I'm pretty sure. That's fantastic news. Trey McBride leads the way. Obviously, he's been beasting it up. He gets tons of work. His usage is way high. He's being used in the offense. He's one of Murray's offensive weapons that he's checking down to. He's hitting across the middle. He's getting a lot of work. So definitely warranted his 15%. He's getting a little pricier than he was for a while, where he's getting up to the Hawkinson price and the Laporta price tag. And we like Laporta, at lower ownership here. Laporta's getting up in price, but man, he gets a lot of touchdown work. He's used by Goff a lot. He looks great in the offense, and I really like that at 5%. Ingram, has been involved a lot too since Christian Kirk's went down. His usage is up there in that offensive play, and I think he's going to be viable today. Njoku against Houston, he was getting a lot of work too. Flacco is actually looking decent with the offense, is getting some rhythm. So look to stay with him at 5,300, not bad. But they're all priced up compared to what we were paying for these guys a while back. So we got to be cautious when we might as well just take the guaranteed Hawkinson and Laporta. They're getting lots more targets. Maybe not Hawkinson as of late, but I think he's a good play this week as well. A little bit lower ownership. I like that play. Kyle Pitts in that dome game, you can get behind. He's lower owned. If you do the Heineke, Drake London, Kyle Pitts stack, or you do like Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Taylor Heineke, something like that is fine. But I kind of like the tight end more in my stack. Tucker Kraft's getting a lot of work at 3,700. I think he's viable. His projection is pretty decent actually for the price tag, and the ownership is fantastic. I like that. And then I don't really dip down here on any other tight ends. I'm really sticking up in these top guys this week. I think you got some value guys here if you need, and then you have some expensive guys to really lock in on this week. Even if you want to stack Tyler Conklin, I didn't think about this, but we do like Trevor Siemian, and that's a really cheap stack. Siemian, Conklin, and Garrett Wilson type stack. I'm probably going to throw one of those in. Lower ownership, I like that. I don't know if I'm going to run it back with anything. You can Terry McLaurin or Dotson or something, but I don't think you need to run it back. I like that stack though. But maybe, they always play competitive games. You can run it back with like a Scary Terry or something, or Antonio Gibson. Really make it really cheap. All right, for tight end, that's kind of what it is. It's really crappy. We don't have a lot of big names on the slate. Tight end might be a little bit more challenging with a lot of these guys playing really well this week than it's been. But you don't have Kelsey. You don't have. That's really it. You don't have Kelsey, but he hasn't been doing that great anyway lately. So these guys have been tearing it up. So that's why the price tags are all up. So you don't have Kincaid, Kelsey, other different options to pick from. So yeah, Darren Waller's not on here this week. So he should be getting back in the offense, but their quarterback's not doing that great. So it's hard for that team to work. Flex defense, Jets probably leads the way. Very chalky. Browns, another one that's probably up there. They're very elite defenses. We like some that are dropping off in the Bears, 2,800 maybe against Arizona, not playing outside often. So that's viable, but there's other cheap ones. We like the Panthers against Green Bay. Jordan Love could have that game where he's not looking so great. Throws a pick six, and 2,400 is viable. We like that. We like the Titans at 2,600. Geno's coming off an injury. They look good last week, but still, they could have a down week, and then 2,600. That's a great price to pay. Bucks at 2,600 was another one I got. Lawrence hasn't looked great. Lost some weapons. Theirs, but they're a good team. Ridley's going to be good this week. Ingram's going to be good. ETN's going to be good. I got them listed in the playbook. But yeah, so I kind of like those defenses. Maybe if you think that Dallas is going to keep stinking it up, play the Dolphins 2,700 and then run it back with like a running back. So you do like Mostert, and Dolphins defense has been very viable lately. You could do something like that. So, all right, guys, any questions? It's 9:30. Huge crappy slate today. We've had some really good premium slates though this week. We got the 3-gamer tomorrow on Christmas Day. That'll be fun. We got a lot going on Christmas. There's no way I can do a video for you guys, to be honest with you. I'll probably be in the Discord talking up the plays and everything, and telling you guys to play Gabe Davis. Like I told some people yesterday to do that. I did tell someone to play Palmer a little bit. I gave some bad advice there on he had a 2v2 question where Davis was on the other side and Palmer was in the other one. I did think the Chargers were going to hang with him, and they did. They did hang with him. Even without Stanley, they're still losing by 3. So it's trendy with the Chargers. They're like a cursed team to lose by 3. Most games lost by 3 out of any freaking pro football team in the last 5 years, probably. So they might set a lot of records. So, all right, guys, if no questions, I was hoping some more questions we had. But if there's no questions, we can get the heck out of here and start building some lineups. Check out the playbook. It's got everything in there. Check out our Discord. I'll be posting in the Discord. If you guys have questions in there, drop them in the Discord. Thought I was seeing McCarty in here, but it's Joanne and JJJ. But maybe he snuck in. It's nobody commenting. So appreciate you guys for stopping by. Hit the like button on the way out. Let's actually check that. See if we got to the 10. Got to 9 likes. 9 likes. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm going to have to switch accounts. Oh, never mind. Someone hit the like button. Appreciate you for doing that. As always, any teams you like to win today? Oh, Jimmy coming in late here. Coming in hot. We're hitting a few viewers here. I could just build lineups and just stay live, I guess. That'd be fine. Any team that I like today? Well, if you got the playbook, I listed a few. Lions are 1. Jets, Trevor Simeon's a good stack. Gardner Minshew's a good stack. And Nick Mullins a good stack. But some are chalky, some aren't chalky. We did talk about Taylor Heineke a little bit, a cheap option. We like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, very cheap stack you can do. So why I have these guys listed, these more expensive running backs, more expensive receivers, is because I'm taking one of these cheaper stacks and I'm making it work, like Trevor Simeon. But I don't have them listed in here because they made the list for 11 with me, but I've kind of bumped them up. They're kind of falling down the ranks. I mean, you could see Simeon's not like a great on the list, is why I have him lower. He's way down here on the bottom. So you can see why I had to put him on my stacks list a little bit, but then I put the green, so I'm over on him in the stacks. Thanks, Joanne. We got 12 likes. Appreciate it. That's awesome that we did that. We did a little rise and grind for you guys this morning, talking the playbook, talking different stocking options. I definitely like the cheaper stacks this week. I think you can win with the Simeon stack. I think you can win with Heineke or Gardner Minshew. Even some love for Joe Flacco against Houston. He's been looking really good. You got Cooper there, Elijah Moore, and Njoku. Those are great stacking options that I don't mind. And then you got Jared Goff, which I like at 6,900. I think him, Amon St. Brown, and Laporta. It's a very expensive stack. I don't think you can probably run that back with Justin Jefferson. So that's when I had to say, hey, you might have to look at Addison. You might have to look at Ty Chandler. You might have to look at that. But Madison's back this week, so that's going to hurt. So that's going to really make it. You might want to just stack it with Mullins and then do like a Mullins, Jefferson, Amon stack or something like that. But I like that game shooting out a little bit, to be honest with you. Going over the total on that possible. So it's a 1:00 game. It's got a decent total, 25 for the Lions, 22 for Vikings, decent spread. So it's one of the better games on the slate, I think. And you got the Miami Dallas game, looks like a good total. And so those are the two games with the best totals. This game's closer total. I would hedge more Jacksonville, but the Bucs been playing really well. There's a possibility that Green Bay can roll Carolina, but what Jordan Love do we have today is the question. We need a good one. Okay. If he's a good one, we're good to go. So those are my stacks. It's kind of a crap slate. I think one of these cheap quarterbacks win the slate. I'll be live at 11. So give me some time to build some lineups. We'll see what I come up with, and appreciate you guys as always.